Good morning, everybody. Welcome back here for another session in English. I am very, very glad to host here on this stage David from... I need to know, do we say HYVIA? Just tell me.
So, good morning. We say HYVIA when we speak in English and HYVIA quand on parle en français.
So, yeah, when I created Hyvolution, it was Hyvolution in English and Hyvolution in French. Okay, very good. You came here last year for the first time. It was the first time that we could discover this emerging vehicle led by the Group Renault. You come back here, I guess, with news. Few months I've gone through. First of all, just re-explain to everyone what is HYVIA.
Excellent. So yes, HYVIA in 4 points is simply our objective, our passion and dedication is all about carbon-free mobility for light commercial vehicles. So replacing vehicles emitting 10 to 15 tons of CO2 every year by a zero-emission solution. That's the first point. The second, HYVIA is a joint venture between Renault Group and Plug Power, both leaders in their field, like commercial vehicles or hydrogen. 3, HYVIA is unique because it's offering a full ecosystem. You have the vehicles, but you have the station, hydrogen and electrolyzer. And finally, it's made in France. So for us, it's very relevant. All our sites, all our manufacturing is made here in France. Our engineers are here. So for us, that's a very strong point. Made in France for Europe.
Yeah, by the way, the big news compared to last year is that you're already now starting a plant in France. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Bertrand. Last Hyvolution, we presented some concept cars, some show cars. On March 15, we inaugurated our factory for the fuel cell. So what we showed is a flexible, still small plant. Has a capacity of 1,000 fuel cells per year that we can increase and duplicate. But for us, this industrial, technological, and human challenge is very significant for us. I can give you the example of the operators. They came from the plant or factory assembling cars, and now they did the training to become expert in assembling fuel cells. So they did the training in France, they went to the US to visit Plug Power, and they completed their training, and now they're ready to start the manufacturing.
By the way, where is it based?
So our factory is based in Flins, in the site of Renault called the Refactory, because you have all the circular economy, you have battery recycling, used car reshaping, refurbish, and then in the re-energy portion, that's where we are. In the re-energy, you have HYVIA for hydrogen.
Okay, so that's for the fuel cell systems. But this fuel cell is going into a vehicle, which is a utility vehicle based on the Master, right? And there is another plant that is involved in the process.
Absolutely. So, as you say, so in Flins, we are manufacturing the fuel cell. Soon we will start the assembly of the station as well, and we are installing in the fall an electrolyzer because we do the testing of the fuel cell in the station for 100% of the production. The other site you mentioned is PVI. PVI is an affiliate of Renault Group, and they already do the Renault Master EV. And we provide them with the fuel tank we get from Faurecia. We provide them with the fuel cell that we manufacture, and they combine all that to make the Renault Master H2 Tech.
Okay, so this work is currently ongoing. Where are you in the process?
We are not going fast enough, but the team is fully engaged to do currently the final validation and homologation of the vehicle so we can be ready for delivery after summer.
Okay, after summer delivery for vehicles across Europe?
So what we will do is start with a few countries, very specific location to start small. Again, we don't want to go to, because we cannot, we need to learn at the same time. So the priority countries are clearly France, Germany, and Netherlands. We were earlier this week in Rotterdam for the World Hydrogen Summit. And just like here today, you can see a lot of traction, a lot of interest for the hydrogen solutions.
Okay, great. So it's moving on. what is the offer, basically? First of all, because you have a base which is a master that has been electrified, on which you are adding the fuel cell. But I guess there are many different ways to market this kind of vehicle with different features. Can you explain a little bit the?
Yes, I can.
I'm sure about that.
No, absolutely. So first, let's look at the technology. As you said, you have the EV solution, and our solution come and complete the offer. If I look at Renault Master customers and their usage, the battery will maybe answer to 15 to 20% of the customers when the mileage is not so intense, the speed or the load is not so intense. However, when you do the heavy duty thing, that's where we come into play. And we have clear demonstration with some of our partners that they cannot use battery EV solutions. So that's where we come. And the technology we are developing, which is a fuel cell with a battery, is very specific. We call it dual power. Allows us to the peak of power that is needed when you acceleration is the battery, you absorb that. So that the fuel cell is always in a stable condition, so we can maximize the life of the fuel cell. And when you are in a light commercial vehicles, you want life, because they use long time, very intensive usage. And then on the other side, with the battery, when you brake, you retrieve energy. If you have full power, hydrogen, you cannot do that. So that's a very good balance for us.
Okay, we call this an hybrid, and it's a mid-power. But more specifically, what are the kind of markets that you are targeting? What are the first applications or type of customers who are interested in the solution? Why choosing this kind of technology solution rather than just a pure battery-based master?
Excellent question. So I will go with 3 examples, one per vehicles. As you know, the Renault Master will be offered in 3 versions. First, the van with a 12 cubic meter capacity, the city bus, 15 people, and then the chassis cab up to 20 cubic meters. So if I go to the van, the contacts we have today is mainly logistic company. So they do transportation. They go the morning from the warehouse, they go at high speed to the downtown and go and stop to every stop they have to do. It's between 100 to 150 stops, and then they need to come back. If you are only EV, you go downtown, you deliver 2 packages, and then you need to call assistance to go back. So that's where the advantage of our solution. The second example is the city bus. City bus, if I compare to electric, you start at 5 a.m. and you start doing around and around what the city bus does, back and forth. At noon, you change driver, and you need a second city bus EV if you want to do until 11 p.m. Again, with hydrogen solution, the same car can work the entire day. And finally, why we should do the chassis cab? Well, obviously the payload is even more obvious the bigger, the more difficult it is for battery. But also, when we discuss with the converters, we have the capacity to provide energy for the cooling. So you have a fridge in the back. If you have a battery solution, if the autonomy is 100 kilometers, with the fridge, it's 50. So with hydrogen, we solve the issue because you can always refill in just a few minutes.
Okay, so I guess you have clearly identified the first markets that you want to address, and you talk to the potential customers. How do they react? What do they say? What are the barriers that they see?
So clearly what we see is people come to us. There is a real strong interest. And again, here's the case. It was the case in Netherlands as well. There's really people who are pioneer into the energy transition. They are coming to visit us with that mindset. So the concern obviously is always, once they understand the benefits of our offer, is okay, how do I get hydrogen? So here, HYVIA is providing, I want to say, half of the solution, because we offer a solution of a refueling station for private use. So if you have a big park, so 50, 100, 200 vehicles, we provide the station, hydrogen, and electrolyzer if needed. Public, that's a concern, and we were with HYVIA with other manufacturers of hydrogen vehicles to state towards the government, we need support in France and in Europe to develop the network for public stations.
So you talk to the other manufacturers and you try to have a certain convergence to bring some messages that are important.
Absolutely.
Do they listen to you? I guess that the French government is probably listening to you because it's a French manufacturer and there is another one. So is it matching?
So the French government is doing their best, and HYVIA has been pre-notified in the IPCEI program. So IPCEI program, it's an incentive to support all development, and it's a European program. But regarding the network of a fuel station, I think there's still a lot of work to do. If I look just across the border with Germany, there's much more HRS in place and still more coming. So I think France has to catch up. And in the Netherlands, which is again one of our priority countries, we see that obviously the country is smaller, so you don't need as many stations, but it's moving quite fast also.
Okay, so there are 3 main countries that you are targeting, but do you see something also boiling around there in other places where you could reach the market, like Great Britain, Spain, Italy? Is this?
So you almost have all the right countries. No, so obviously other countries coming are Scandinavia.
Okay.
They are already using a lot of EVs for passenger cars, and they realize, just like we do, that for light commercial vehicle, you need another solution. So Scandinavia is big. UK is pulling strong also. And we have also the discussion with Spain and other countries.
Okay, so beyond the countries and the end user, the customers, what is also extremely important is the distribution network and support and maintenance network that is required for that. So Renault is of course a huge group that is potentially capable of handling that, but do you need to do something special with the distribution network and support and maintenance? Do you have specific actions to enable that complete?
Absolutely, you have a very, very strong point, and this is one of the strongest assets that we get from Renault. Obviously, we get the Renault Master, but the network of Renault, and specifically what we call the Renault Pro Plus, which is a network of Renault dedicated to commercial use.
Okay.
So if you have a van, you go to Renault Pro Plus, they have a special training, special tools for this type of vehicles. So what we do currently is the after-sales team of HYVIA is go to those people, and just like for EV, if you are not trained, you can only change the brake pads on Zoe. If you have a training, you can work on some items, and you need a special service to go to everything. Mm-hmm. So we are preparing exactly the same thing for hydrogen. Some people will only be allowed to do the brake pads. Other ones can do diagnostic on the hydrogen, and then we will support if there's something bigger on the hydrogen side.
Okay. And the employees of the group in those countries, are they receptive to that? How do they challenge you on the solution?
So what we see, we had the first 2 pilots location that we will do in France came to visit the factory. It was last week. You cannot imagine how motivating it is for them, and that's the message they gave us. They see how they are involved, the role that they have, and because again, everybody is aware of there is an issue for the energy transition. We need to do something, and for them, being in the workshop saying, okay, I will work on hydrogen cars, is extremely motivating. The second thing is, if you look in the workshop, most of the mechanics is not a job which makes dream many young people. But now that you say, okay, you used to have diesel vehicles with oil dropping everywhere, you dirty, and now you bring a hydrogen solution. You bring an iPhone, right? So in terms of technology, it's totally different. So it changed the image of after sales in automotive.
Okay, and is it a strong effort to educate, to transfer the knowledge to the network?
It's a lot of work, but again, as I explained, the people involved are extremely motivated. So when you're motivated, you can realize and learn quickly and move quickly. So yes.
Okay, but what do they say? They say, well, we are struggling a bit to sell the battery solution. We welcome the hydrogen, but we're on the network. What kind of messages do they
No,
carry?
again, for me, it's obviously there are items that we need to tackle. We need to fix issues, but it's every item is okay. We have an issue because they are motivated and they want to be positively impact the energy transition. Is okay. They are seeking solution before. Okay, here's the problem. Deal with it. So we really work together, whether it's after sales, sales. Communication, everything. So it's very, very proactive, and really the mindset is very, very positive.
Okay, so that's good news. However, it's a long process to bring to the market this kind of solution and to productize. So I guess there is a ramp up. How do you see that? How many years until we get to a certain level, to a certain threshold where you consider that the solution has really reached the company target?
So what we see in the discussion is today we have contacts with many people. And what they want to do in the coming months is do validation, a proof of concept for themselves. So it's 1 or 2 cars I want to test for 6 months, 1 year. And after that, then they will start converting their fleet. And once they convert the fleet, then you have the smaller companies that will follow the trend, saying, okay, the big companies are doing it works. So for us, we see that the growth will accelerate drastically around 2025, knowing that our clear objective is to reach 30% of market share for light commercial hydrogen vehicles by 2030.
30%.
30%.
Well, that's
Ambitious.
That's ambitious, lovely, but it's a huge industrial challenge. On the customer side, do they ask for specific funding schemes, or are you going through the usual loans, leasing tools?
Absolutely.
How do you accompany that?
I think it's an opportunity because, so first of all, obviously the cars today are more expensive than diesel engines, but also so having a leasing scheme is clearly what we are going towards. Plus, not only the leasing, but the after sales, the warranty, and the support. So it's a full package because, again, the customers is a new technology, not necessarily experts of it. So by providing after sales support, providing hydrogen and the station, then we really reassure them strongly. We need to support them during these first 6 months of learning, and then after they will be able to grow from there.
Okay, but at the end of the day, the customer is going to ask, well, what is the cost of of the energy I'm going to consume? Where is it going? Up or down or flat? What do they say about that? And we all observe that with what's going on today in Europe and the aggression in Ukraine, it has a big impact on the petrol in general. And do you see that accelerating or not the business case for hydrogen?
It's a very, very good question. So there are 2 things about the cost. And basically, it's when we look at, again, light commercial vehicles, we talk about the total cost of ownership. So let's talk about the fuel. So obviously, with what happened recently, the curve of hydrogen going down and diesel, we did not expect that diesel would go high so quickly. And currently, to do 100 kilometer hydrogen with our vehicles is pretty much the same cost as a diesel version.
Yeah.
Between 20 to 24 euro, depending how you look at it. If you go to Netherlands or Germany, it's even cheaper on hydrogen. But the hydrogen is not so clean there. But anyway. So that's for the kilometers. When I look at the purchasing cost, so we have the cost. And obviously today we are starting as a small series, what we call it's not mass production yet. So the cost is significant, but we are working with partners which are here, and we are dividing the cost in the coming years. You know, when I look at the diesel engine, if they reduce by 0.5% per year, it's big news. Us, we are dividing the cost. So that's very good news, but that's in 25. I need a solution now. And what's very significant currently is you have in France and in Germany, for example, a strong support to start the business. So in France, if you have a car which is 100, you can get 40, because our vehicle is quite big, you can get 40% discount for ecological bonus, 40%. Then depending where you are in France, if you are in Paris or Lyon, you can get between 5 to 15,000 euro additional bonus if you replace a diesel with our solution. So that becomes bigger. And finally, you have a third lever, which is surendettement. So you can get tax reduction during 4 or 5 years, which brings another 15 to 16%.
Suramortissement.
Suramortissement, pardon, surendettement. And this scheme basically brings the cost of a still expensive solution to a very competitive position. And then with the diesel being the price it is today, it's very reassuring.
Okay, so we are going to conclude that. Just one point. You have already first customer orders on the table?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have communicated with the Big Green as the first pilot for the city bus in Buc, in the south of Paris. We have a very strong partner, which we have not communicated yet for the van. But yes, we have a very strong, we have pre-orders and we have many contacts for carnet de commande, which is totally full.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks a lot, David. I see that HYVIA is on track, accelerating. It's very good news for the industry. Thanks a lot again for coming here and hope to see you next year.
Absolutely. Merci, Bertrand.
Bye.